We all have moments in life when we realize, oh, this is the big one, like starting school, starting your career, getting married, or deciding what your relationship with God is actually going to look like. You know, when something stops feeling like just another thing you are doing and starts feeling like, okay, this is going to affect the rest of my life. I was thinking about this because a pastor said something at camp. He was talking about three major life launches that happen in human lives: school and career, marriage and spiritual life. Then he asked the youth, which one is the hardest to launch? And immediately I thought marriage, which is interesting because I never actually launched one, but I had my reasons. For me, career was the easiest one to understand. Not easy, just easier to understand. You go to school, you get qualifications, you apply for things, you gain experience, you keep trying. And if something isn't working, you can actually do something about it. Send another application, learn another skill, change your CV for the 47th time. At least you can look at your life and say, okay, I'm doing something about this. Marriage is different because you can do your part. And then there's another human being involved. You can work on yourself, become emotionally mature, learn how to communicate, pray, prepare yourself to be a good wife or husband, but you cannot prepare another person. You cannot make someone ready. You cannot make someone choose you. You can do everything you're supposed to do and still have absolutely no idea when it is going to happen. And I think that's why I chose marriage. I like things I can work on. Marriage is basically a group project where you don't get to choose all the group members. Then there's spiritual life, and honestly, this one made me pause because you can start going to church, you can start praying, you can read your Bible, listen to sermons, highlights half your Bible until it looks like a children's coloring book, but none of that automatically means you are close to God. You can be doing all the Christian things and still not actually be walking with God. So now I'm thinking, wait, maybe all three are difficult, just in completely different ways. Maybe the question isn't only which one is the hardest to launch. Maybe it's also which one are we most likely to neglect while we are busy launching the others. Because career can take over your life. Marriage can take over your life. Even good things can take over your life. You can become so focused on building the life you want that you forget to pay attention to the person you are becoming while you build it. And that brings me back to the spiritual life. Because I don't want my relationship with God to become the thing I keep saying I'll get to when everything else is sorted. I'll pray properly when work settles down. I'll spend more time with God when school is less busy. I'll read my Bible tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and suddenly tomorrow has become a lifestyle. And then there's this question in Mark 8 verse 38. For what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose his own soul? And I love how uncomfortable that question is because Jesus is not asking, what if you fail? He's asking, what if you succeed? What if you get the career? What if you get the money? What if you get the marriage? What if you get everything you have been working towards and somehow you lose the part of you that matters the most? We spend so much time worrying about whether our lives will work out, but we also need to ask, what kind of a person am I becoming while making my life work? So maybe you're working hard right now. Maybe you're trying to build your career. Maybe you are preparing for marriage. Maybe you are trying to figure out what you actually believe. Maybe one part of your life is moving while another part feels completely stuck. I don't think that means your life is stuck. And I definitely don't think you need to have everything figured out at the same time. But while you're working on all those things, don't accidentally leave God out of the plan because career matters, marriage matters, education matters, dreams you have matter. But they don't need to become your entire identity. You can work hard for your future without worshiping it. You can desire marriage without making marriage your whole life. You can want a successful career without letting your career decide whether your life has value. And you can decide all these things while I'm still making room for God. So which one is the hardest to launch? I still don't know. I'm still saying marriage. But now I think there's a question I care about more. While I'm trying to launch all these parts of my life, am I still making sure my life is rooted in God? Because I really don't want to get to the end of all this and realize I was busy building my life and forgot to live it with God. I want to build a life with God, not just build a life and hope God is somewhere in it.